Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Good to have you guys. We're gonna start in a few minutes, okay? Nice to see you, Aijan, right? That's Aijan.
Yeah.
And Gulmira. Oh, guys, nice to meet you.
Hi. Hello. Yeah.
Very good. Hi, Aina Gul. Wow, good to see you. That's so nice to have you. We're going to start in about 3 minutes. So it must be late in the evening now in Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah. It's 9 o'clock.
About 9
Oh,
p.m.
Okay. So yeah, we've been working with Kazakhstan. I'm amazed by the way your Instagram, all your teachers are on Instagram. It's like I get so many followers from Kazakhstan. It was amazing. My compliments. What can I say? We've started a collaboration with Miras University. I think it's
Shymkent.
Yes. And that's where your association is, the Association of Teachers of English Language, with Miss Tatiana. Yes, she's amazing. She's just amazing. And we've been also thinking of creating an association of teachers and create a fund that would provide, like, it's like a providence fund. So whenever we organize the exams in Kazakhstan, we're going to put aside an amount for the needs of the teachers. So, for example, if some teachers need an operation, God forbid, or urgently, for some health issues, some other, like a fund where teachers can apply to and get some help, financial help. That's what I mean. Okay. Okay. So I guess I need to begin. For those who don't know me, like, I'm so glad to meet you. See your face is so nice. So I'm Svetlana. I am Russian. Okay. I live in Cyprus, and so greetings from Cyprus. You're all welcome to come. We've got nice weather, and all this, holiday and stuff. It's also a nice working environment as well. We are organizing seminars for teachers, and we are going to be organizing like exams for the students over here, and we are inviting our assessors, the speaking part, to come from abroad and mingle, to get the feeling of exams in Cyprus, Greece, Czech Republic, England, and so on. So we are really into that, that kind of global thing, to create LRN global. I've been working with LRN for 3 years. We've been in many countries so far. So, and one of the latest accomplishments is that we've established a very good communication with Kazakhstan teachers. And I was even thinking of going in. So anyway, let me, I see many more people are joining us. So welcome to my, and by the way, what I wanted to tell you is we have a Teachers' Day today in Cyprus and Greece. It's a Teachers' Day. And do you know?
Congratulations.
It's actually connected with the church celebration of the 3 hierarchs of the church. John the Chrysostomos and Vasily the Great, and Grigori the theologist. They were the teachers. So, as you know, the church in the past also played the role of the educator. So this is the day when kids don't go to school and they like it. So no school today for anybody. And that's why we kind of celebrate this day as well as the teachers. So since we're all here, like I'm supposed to begin, I have a presentation for you. After that, you're welcome with your questions. Let's discuss issues. Let's see how we can collaborate, because apart from the educational part, the introduction of LRN exams brings a certain financial benefit to the teachers in many ways. So let's see. Well, this is my final slide. Let me show you my slide. Well, there are three parts to my presentation today. I'm going to be trying, I will try to be entertaining as much as I can and to show you some real stuff, okay? So the essentials of LRN, which is like what it is, why it is important, and where it is recognized. The next is, the next two chapters are the results of a research that happened concerning English language teaching and introduction of examinations in the teaching process on everyday basis. The research happened in Spain in 3 schools, which is great. Like, who would do this? And it took like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years. So these schools were watched over the time to see how the exams have changed. Everything, the study process, the schools, the teachers, the parents, everything. And the impacts of the exams were discovered to be, some of them were expected and the others were unexpected. So, well, you might be wondering, like, okay, so there are many ESOL exams. We've got Cambridge, we've got IELTS, TOEFL, Pearson, and so on, right? So sometimes as teachers, we really don't know which one to choose. I mean, I know that Cambridge was the first to get into the Kazakhstan, Russian, and many other markets. After all, the company exists for over 100 years. Okay, LRN exams are just a decade, so we've got a lot to learn. So you might be wondering, like, why my students need to take an exam? I mean, really, is it an international exam? What does it give them except for the vanity that I have an official certificate from Britain, okay? Another one is, what is the most suitable ESOL examination? Like, we all know that IELTS is good for universities, okay? Then GMAT is good for American master's degree, okay, and so on. What changes are necessary to happen if we want exams? This is question number 3. And the last one, maybe, what in it is for me as a teacher, okay? So firstly, about some essentials of the LRN exam. LRN is basically an abbreviation that means Learning Resource Network. It's an ESOL exam, English for speakers of other languages, and it's an international exam. The basic information about it is here. So it assesses the knowledge and skills of students of all ages, starting maybe 9 up to indefinite, on the levels from A1 to C2, according to the European Framework for Languages, which is called CEFR. Well as that, we've got also the pre-juniors exams that are for very young learners. They are pre-basic levels, like really the beginners, people who just begin studying. And the next essential information is that LRN is one of the qualifications and exams that are regulated by Ofqual. About Ofqual, it's, you see, in Britain, the system is a bit different. The government in England authorized an independent organization to watch and control over such awarding organizations like Cambridge, Pearson, Trinity, CTM Guilds, and so on, and LRN as well. So to be regulated by Ofqual is a certain status. It means that your exams are valid, they are legitimate, they are accepted throughout, like, wherever the European framework exists, and they have equal value, okay? Next. So what do we provide? Basically, apart from that, like, okay, I told you we've got ESOL exams. As I say here again, it's ESOL. We also provide TESOL. It's internationally recognized teacher certificate in level 5 and diploma in level 7. To make you, like, what is this level 5, Svetlana? I mean, we don't know that. So level 5 basically corresponds to 3 out of 4 years of studying in an English university. So people who graduate with bachelor, they get level 6, okay? So level 5 basically corresponds to that. And TESOL level 7 corresponds to the master's degree in academic qualifications, okay? So we've got those two. They are coming online. So if you are ambitious and you've got some ideas, maybe you think of traveling and teaching somewhere, getting international experience, this is definitely for you, because our TESOL is recognized everywhere. It's not an online course. I know that many organizations don't accept online TESOL. Well, ours is not. It's all, yeah, the lectures are online, but the observations and the assessment is not offline. It's face-to-face observations with video cameras and so on. Next, quickly. So why would somebody choose LRN exams? Well, firstly, they have no expiration date. Once you take a B2, which corresponds to first certificate in English in Cambridge, if you're aware of that, it lasts you forever. That's it. You have it. Like in contrast to IELTS, that you have to do again and again every 2 years. Also, it is regulated. Let me just take that aside somewhere. Yes. So it's regulated by the Office of Qualifications, and we've got a recognition number. This is LRN's recognition number over here. Also, LRN exam is recognized by businesses, universities, and immigration offices all over the world. It's true. Like all the other English exams coming from Britain, we have the same studies. And by the way, we are at a lower cost. The exams are, our philosophy is that exams have to be implemented in everyday life. So if we prefer that students take every exam step by step, like in contrast to some others that sometimes students prepare and they take the highest exam, okay? So here on the left, you can see a certificate issued to one of our successful candidates with a distinction. So what's important about the certificate is that it's got this little hologram. You see, actually it's a shining little thing that proves that it's an authentic document, okay? We've got the signature of the director of LRN. Also, it has a number. The candidate has his own unique number. The date is also on, it's a specific date. So everything is stated on your certificate. And Ofqual, you can, it features also the Ofqual logo. All right. So a quick comparison of LRN exams with others. So for your, like, if you want, here are the other exams. So LRN A2 corresponds to KT or PTE, General Level 1. Then we have, for example, B2. It corresponds to the first certificate. I'm gonna mute some of you, okay? I don't know why. I'm gonna mute so we don't interrupt it. Baby. All right. So IELTS, it corresponds to IELTS from 5 to 6 and 5 and so on. All right. You can have the presentation, by the way, after this presentation. I mean, you can have it in a PPT format. Well, to prepare for the LRN exam, we've got past papers and practice tests. So in front of you, there are 2 samples of practice tests. We've got the version for the teachers and for the students. So the students get a chance to get accustomed and to get to know the format. Although it is based on it's multiple choice mainly. It's got only one clause, but it consists of listening, reading, and writing, like all the others. Well, so to sum it up, I'm trying to mute. I have some noises coming. Well, to sum it up, it's a candidate, we like to believe it's a candidate-friendly exam. It's without traps, without unpleasant surprises, without exaggerated requirements, even for C2 level. Well, we've got support for students with learning difficulties, and the aim of the exam is to reduce candidates' stress and reveal their potential. Secondly, it's a smart exam. The main difference of LRN is that it's considered as one module. Like, for example, again, I will compare with Cambridge. Cambridge assesses 4 modules separately. Listening is assessed separately, speaking separately. Okay. Well, LRN exam is also assessed separately. We have marks for each part separate, but they're not considered different modules. It's one module. So what does it give us? That the mark is calculated on the basis, not on the average, but on the basis of all these marks. So if some students don't score high in listening, or they don't score high in reading comprehension, but they score higher in speaking or reading, right? If they pass the 50% mark, they still get a pass, which is very good. Our students love it. So that's it. If you have any questions about the LRN exams, how to promote them, how to collaborate with us, you're more than welcome. I have my emails and my telephone number at the end of the presentation. Let's move on. And the second, let's discuss the expected impact of taking English exams. So why is it so important? The research has shown that it was expected that the exams increase motivation and attitude to studies. So I have the results of the research with me. So the research has revealed that 100% of students believe that it's good for their future, that the certificates are good for their future career, while 80% of teachers agree that students are more motivated to study. So I figured out these pictures demonstrates exactly how the exam looks like sometimes. Well, at least it was for me. And so also the students see an exam as a goal to work towards. You know, it's like you all know that setting goals for students at the beginning of the year is essential. If we don't know what we're working for, why we're coming and studying all this, it's becoming interesting. I remember myself when I was studying, well, so what did you learn this year? Well, we learned that grammar and we learned that spelling and I know now these words, but this is not, it's kind of disappointing. You cannot assess. So how far have you moved? How far have you progressed? So with exams, you see a goal. So if you reach that goal, you know where you stand, okay? The exam, besides that, the exams start to look less scary. In the English education now, because, well, I live in Cyprus, so we have English education in English schools and Cypriot schools. So they have exams, guys, from the year 1. Our 1-year-old, 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, they take exams at the end of the year. Yeah, they name them exams. The contents are very simple, primitive, but they still call them exams because they believe that getting used to the idea of sitting exams, getting into all that procedure is important for psychology. Like, so a year in and year out, they know they do exams, so they're not scared of them. Now, the exams become a part of the study process. What does it mean? We know, because the exams are based on the European framework, we know that our books are teaching the right things, okay? We are teachers, but there are other people who develop books, and the right skills are taught in the good books. Like, again, from my background, I was never taught speaking skills when I was at school, never. It was not, like, we were taught to translate, but that's because the goal of the English language lessons at school was not to speak to foreigners because of the Soviet bloc and stuff. So it was more for translating and understanding foreign texts. So Now we live in a different society, and we need to change the study process, the books, to fit into this new world. Okay, and the last comment that I had is that things become more competitive, the research showed. The families, children in a family say, okay, teacher, can my brother also sit the mock exam? And so they compete, children compete, like I have the A1 and you have the, I will have a A2 next year. So they kind of compete between each other. The next one of the expected is the increase in self-awareness of students. Our students, ladies and gentlemen, become more aware of where they stand. So the problems that they see how they are looking for ways to resolve them. So the comments were, so I now know where my weaknesses are. So what do I do in order to improve? So also they are aware of what they're good at, right? They become more autonomous and they take control, which is also very important. Okay, here is a nice picture. You can see a bunch of kids. These kids and I was basically privileged to join these kids in their rock climbing expedition. They came from Russia, from an orphanage, but they're all rock climbers. So we decided to organize a rock climbing event for them. So here we're on our way to do rock climbing. And you know what, about the rock climbing, I haven't known this before, but like, look at this rock. For me, this is just a big rock, right? But look at this scheme. It's a plan of climbing. So all these lines that you see, the red lines and the blue lines, they are marked as 1, 2, 3, 4 through 10. And here you see their names. So some of the names are funny, like Палата номер 6, or Подвиг разведчика, or Licha, or something else. So they have funny names, all these climbs. So this, for example, where is Licha? Licha is number 6. So if you're climbing, you're starting from here, this track or route is 6B. 6B on the scale is not for beginners, but like for intermediate climbers, rock climbers. So, and somebody who is more advanced in rock climbing, they try the 8. For example, sorry, where do we have number 8? The tracks, the difficulty of the tracks is marked after the name. So we haven't got really the difficult. We have the most difficult is 7B. So 7B is here. So this is the most difficult track. Why I like this comparison with rock climbing here, because now look at them, how they're climbing here, how they're all climbing for us. It was amazing to see how, with what confidence and how they're planning where they're gonna catch, where they're gonna step and push against. So while we as teachers of English, we also provide the same plan. So guys, if we follow this route, like we're taking these books, we are aiming at these exams, you're going to reach these summits at the end of the year, which is amazing. Okay, so I thought it's a great comparison. The next of the expected outcomes was the self-awareness of parents. Guess what? The parents of our students are also becoming more aware of the levels of exams. The parents also believe that the parents agree that their child is more motivated to study English if they have exams at the end of the year. The parents also know the weaknesses and strengths in English of their child. So it's like they're also involved in the process of studying. That's what we all want. So they're working with us as teachers on the same thing. Now, Finally, the third part is the unexpected impacts of taking English exams. The first one of them is that impact of exams on the teaching practice. Firstly, it's the fact that the exams highlight where the school needs to focus. Again, because the exams are based on a common European framework developed on the basis of the needs of the market, the needs of the students, the schools can correlate, they can fit and fix their own trajectory of development according to the exams, and eradicate the drawbacks and weaknesses, and highlight the strengths. Also, the exams, if introduced in schools and organized at schools, they help better planning. Like we plan the process, and these days we have exams. Then in the study process, we also have mock exams. We have different competitions and Olympiads. So it helps split the study process into stages, which are measurable for students and for teachers. So we know how we proceed, how we grow. And finally, the teaching strategies, lessons also change. So teachers introduce strategies like don't get stuck on one question. We've got, like the research showed that more communication activities have been introduced as a result of English exams. Okay. Next of the unexpected again is that the examinations at school increased self-development for teachers. The teachers say in the research, we see others doing things and we don't want to be left behind. 80% of teachers agree that as ESOL also helped them improve their own professional skills and language skills. And also it shows where the teachers themselves need to improve. Well, and the third one is that the students' proficiency in English improved. The biggest improvement have been noticed in the oral skills. The 80% of teachers attribute this improvement to the exams, which is amazing, right? And finally, what is it for the schools now? So that for the schools, look at this on the right, I have a sample certificate that a school gets if it becomes a center of LRN exams. This is our partner in Greece, Delta. Again, this is a fully recognized certificate that you can show the school, or the school can put somewhere visible for teachers, for partners to see that you are an official exam center. It's good for your marketing as well. Also, when parents come, it's a clear evidence for them that the school is striving to improve its services, to improve its products, like exams, right? Like English language lessons, and the schools may reveal their success through the percentage of the successes in the exams. Like if you study here, your students are like 99% or 95% of your students, of the children here, get an internationally recognized certificate, which is great for marketing. It usually attracts more students, right? And so on. So that's it. Thanks. This is my details. By the way, I'm more than you're more than welcome to ask if you want some study material, presentation, marketing. You can call me on Viber and WhatsApp. This is my number. These are my emails, lrn@dquals.net, okay, or accreditation@dquals.net. Why dQuals, by the way? I work for dQuals, and this is a company, we are an agency that acts as an intermediate body that it introduces LRN outside the UK, okay? Well, that's it. I'm gonna stop sharing, okay, and I'll stop share. And here we are. If you want, I can unmute you, but let me show you how we can chat as well. If you have any questions, look at this. Do you see the chat? So here I'm chatting with you, okay? I'm gonna unmute everyone, okay, who's here. Ta-da! We'll hear some noises. Okay, let me unmute all of you, if possible. I mean, if you want, you can still mute yourself. Please mind this, okay? Okay. Whoever I could, I unmuted. So, do you have any questions? You can say something, Gulmira. If it's okay if you speak. I mean, I can hear you. I can hear you typing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello, Svetlana. Thank you so much.
I am glad that if I can help somehow with your teaching and your professional development, I'll be more than happy.
I mean, having new examinations is also a challenge, both for teachers and students. But as for me, why I'm here with you, because I haven't learned about LNR, yeah, LRN, your examination.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I was curious. I wonder what is it?
Yes.
And this is my colleagues. We are from one university.
Oh my God! What?
Yes, that's
yeah, girls. Hi, yeah. We are colleagues from one university, and this year we have a National Teachers of English Association conference in our city. So you are welcome.
When is
it? Is Pavlodar. It is north of capital.
What are the
near Omsk? Do you know Omsk in Russia? Omsk.
Yeah.
Just very close to Omsk. It's a part of Siberia.
Yes, amazing. When? What are the dates?
In April, 25, 26 of April.
You see, these days are the Easter, and I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I have got some jobs here. Yeah, it's
unfortunately
exactly Easter.
The question is, where do you have exam center? Just close to Kazakhstan?
Yes, actually, we have just signed a contract with Miras University.
Oh, I see.
Yes, but it's not the only one. We could sign a contract with you, with your university as well, so you can become an exam center. They are not. They're not full. Like it's not master funded. We didn't promise this, okay? And we offer financial benefits for teachers. We offer 15% commission to schools or teachers personally, okay? What approaches? Yes. So if the exam costs, for example, what's 15%? So like...
it's okay, no problem.
Yeah, whatever the price is, 15% goes to you, yeah.
Thank you. Now I understand. We should talk. It's a good idea, really.
Of course, everybody should make money, of course.
Yes, we shall discuss with our administration.
Lovely. This is lovely.
I see you, Ainagul. You are in the big screen.
Okay, thank you. I use only my phone, that's why.
Aha, mobile, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's very nice. Okay, so
all right, and Svetlana, one more question.
Yes.
So, what is the period? Just very, very. What is the period for preparing for each level?
Look,
I understand.
It's standardized. You know, it's not like something that we do. A1, 1 year. A2, another 1 year. B1 is usually 2 years from A2. But my students don't do this. For some reason, we take every year one exam, and A1, A2, 2 exams in 1 year.
I see.
It depends on your group. It depends on how many hours, right?
Yeah, I understand.
So it can be, I've been teaching, I've taught in Russia, I've taught in England, I've taught in Greece, now Cyprus. So these exams are very, very popular in Europe. Well, mainly because this is our market, like it's one common market now. But we would like to see, because I see how hardworking your students are, how many schools and how many private institutions teaching English. You're really, you're really determined as a nation to become modernized, to become, like to be in the picture, to be modern, to be like the other countries. This is amazing, amazing.
Yeah, among developed, at least.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you have everything for that. You have everything.
Thank you, Svetlana.
And now I would like to see, and my greetings to Dimash. He's amazing. Okay?
Oh yeah,
he's amazing. Whenever I'm subscribed to his Instagram, and because now I have an Instagram page I've never had before, but with LRN I have an Instagram page. So I saw, like, he's amazing. He's the best voice, because I also sing. I know how it is. I know how.
One more question. Yeah. Thank you. One more question. Where can we look just through the exams papers, just sample paper?
Some kind of example, yes.
Yes, of course. I have a page with, well, how was it? Yes.
It's just how it looks.
Page, basically. Yes, of course. Look, the page, I've just asked my programmer to upload the tests and audio files. So I'm now sending it to a page, dcalls.net. In that .net, you will have a subchapter like this, LRN. So in dcalls.net, find LRN in the headers, okay? Among the headers. And there you have resources, like study resources. And there are our tests.
Okay.
But if you can't find them for some reason, or you want more tests, I have plenty. We've been working with these tests, so they are twice a year. So I have, through all these 10 years, I've got myriads of past papers for all the levels, okay? Starting from pre-juniors.
So can I just ask you once more? Yep. Are all these materials were developed by British methodologists?
Of course, yes. We have, like LRN, basically, it consists of a group of experts in English language and teaching. So they've developed...
in what city?
In London. We have the head offices in London, yes. So they've developed, it's really interesting. For me, it's an exciting process. So they have developed a structure based on the European framework. In order to be accredited by the British government, they had to follow the rules really strictly. And this Ofqual of England actually assesses all the awarding organizations in the list. And sometimes the awarding organizations fall out of the list, and then they come back and they lose the license and they get it back. So it happens, like happened with Anglia exams. I don't know if you know, the Anglia exams were very popular everywhere, but they lost the license and they regained it again after some time.
I mean, it's a high level of competence, you know.
Oh yeah. People who
with Oxford, Cambridge, you know, all these things.
Yes, I used to teach Cambridge. I used to do TESOL, and I have it in high regard, indeed. Though, although, you know what, I believe that Cambridge is pushing the limit of candidates, honestly. You know how I know this? Because, okay, this common European framework exists not only for English language, it exists for all the European languages. So I've noticed that when my students or my friends or my son, you know, they take Italian A2, for example, or B1, or French B1, or Spanish, all the languages, you cannot imagine how easier they are. Like B1 for Italian is like so much easier. But then I didn't know any better. I thought that Cambridge is following like the medium, the medium of the B2, for example, but they're really pushing it higher. The English exam should not be so difficult, okay, as it is.
So one more, Svetlana, one more question, sorry.
No, yours. I'm all yours.
Yeah. Can our students, after passing your examinations, enter the European or American university?
Some of them, not all. We're working on this. You see,
I see.
Yeah, it's not like IELTS. Yeah.
Yeah.
IELTS is amazing how they do this, guys, making papers twice a month. Yeah. It costs incredibly much money, but then they are really well established. Well, I know that they're going to be, the LRN exam is going to be in the British Embassy in Kazakhstan. Okay. So whoever wants to migrate to the UK, they can take LRN in Kazakhstan and be accepted for immigration purposes.
I see.
So this is for sure. Businesses everywhere recognize LRN because it's, if you look, because like before, I didn't know also this before, but this Common European Framework and all the awarding organizations in OFPOL, they're listed in a list. It's free, it's public, for public viewing, okay? So you can see how Cambridge is recognized by OFPOL. You can see how City and Guilds and all the others. So because they're recognized, they cannot disregard it, okay?
I mean, you need some time to be evaluated, proper evaluation, yeah?
No, they are recognized by some
universities. How many years do you exist, this examination?
10 years.
Okay.
10 years.
I see.
Svetlana, the first question, if I share your idea, the idea of your testing, and if I offer LRN to my students, I'm sure the first question will be about the price.
Yes, I know.
You mentioned that it is much lower.
It's low, definitely, yes. Well,
how much low?
Okay, let me check how I have it with Miras at least. Okay, yeah, can I check, because I don't remember exactly.
Approximately.
Yeah, just give me a second, okay? I'll check my my paper. Okay. It's not very difficult to find them. Yes, I found it. I'll get it to you. I think the prices are stated in euro, okay?
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, great. Look at this. So the prices are A1 65 euro, A2 70 euro, B1 80 euro, B2 85 euro. You know what? I don't know how you see this, but usually we also offer the following. If you bring a certain number of students, right, we are willing to offer free examination for some of your students. So it's up to you if you want to motivate your students and choose 1 or 2 out of 10 who are really good and they deserve to go and take the assessment for free. You are more than welcome. Or we can still offer it, like for example, that's what we've been doing, like 10 students and 2 go for free, extra, 2 extra, okay? So 12 students. If you split this, if they go for 70, right, it's going to be cheaper for all of them. Or you choose 2 who indeed are the best, okay? The reason is that I know that Cambridge is selling the exams higher than that, and they're not offering commission. You see, we also offer commission to teachers and the schools of that. So if you look, I'll show you the commission. Since the commission, for example, is, what is it, 15%, which means that you roughly get 10 euro, 10 and for A1 and A2, around 10 euro commission to you personally. And for B1 and B2, around 12 euro commission, 13 euro for every student, okay? I know Cambridge is not doing this. at all. So if you like, if you're willing, you can, if you're not interested in that, although I don't believe you are, you're not, you can also lower the price here, but it's difficult to go any lower, honestly. So we offer discounts for if you bring a certain number of students, like 10 students, 2 extra go for free, and play with your commission, you know. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Would you like to see one of the tests? If you have time, I have a test to go through with you. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry,
Yeah,
Svetlana, I have also one question for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Do you have a list of universities that admit LRN?
Yes, of course.
Can we get it?
Yes, but Ainagul, it's not something impressive, I have to tell you. Well, LRN was not created for admission to universities. It's more like for annual progression assessment. It's for the practical skills. It's a very practical exams. You will see this.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that Cambridge is sometimes accepted, not always. You know, generally, ESOL exams are not accepted at universities. But there are some Europeans that do accept, definitely. Some in England accept, many schools and academies, okay? But we, as I said, we're working in it because we get this question often. I keep being asked, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, let me show you the exam then, right? One second, I'll get it on my screen first. There is this a small procedure here.
Yeah, with this.
Svetlana, how much does the test last? 1 hour, 2 hours?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So the exam from A1 and A2, it lasts 2 hours plus the speaking, which is 10 minutes. For the B1 and B2, it is about 13 minutes for 2 people, okay? 2 people do at the same time. And C1 and C2 proficiency, 16, 15, 16 minutes. Okay. Well, it's time to see some of the tests. So I've got okay. See this? Yeah. Do you see this? The test? So this is how a B2, which is a first certificate in English in Cambridge, FCE, okay, looks like. So you see, we've got 3 parts together: listening, writing, reading, and use. This exam happened in June 2016, and it's roughly 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay? 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, and the C1, C2 is 3 hours. Okay, so you fill in your information, and then we start the listening. There are 3 sections in listening always. The first is 9 short conversations. They're listened twice by the students, okay, one after another. Then they have 2 minutes to read the questions before the recording is played, and they have some time to transfer the answers on the answer sheet, okay? So this is pretty the same. It's standard, very, very standard tests. These are 9 dialogues, then section 2. Section 2 is got 3 longer conversations. We've got this time, there are 2 questions for each conversation. So it's like listening to a bit more details, right? They're longer, and you have 2 questions for each dialogue. The section number 3 of listening is a longer conversation. Here, for example, it's Tracy's message to her friend Eva. So the girl is talking to her about a party, surprise party or something. So look, there are 5 questions to that. 5 questions. So again, everything is listened twice. You have time, 2 minutes roughly for the listening to read it, and you transfer the answers. So this is the part. This is the listening part, which remember I said it's 1 module. So the listening 3 basically is listened again. as a part of the writing one. How does this happen? So like this, so you finish listening and then you listen to part 3 again, and you mark anything you want, you need, like some essential information here in the space provided. Well, because this is B2, it's easy. So when final exams begin, why first week exams is difficult, why there is more pressure, and so on. So students, by listening again the 3rd time, they transfer some notes, so they write some things here in the space provided, and look what comes after that. They all write task 1, which is writing an email, and you need to write the following. A friend of yours was ill and couldn't go to school to get the timetable for the final exams. Write an email and inform about the timetable of the final exams and how you're going to celebrate the end of the school year. Well, the idea is that sometimes students don't know what to write, and like at the C1 and C2, there are difficult topics that probably were not covered in the study process. So this gives the students a chance to get to know the vocabulary, how it is done, and it also checks their skills to learn fast. Okay, so you write some things before, and in the space provided, you write your email, okay, to a friend informing him about this and this and this, okay? Now, this was part 1 of the writing. The section 2 of the writing is another composition, which can be either task 2, task 3, or task 4. The task here is, so they are choosing either to write an email, a story, or an essay, for and against. Okay, there are prompts for that. So if they paraphrase, they write the B2 quite nicely, okay? Continue the story. So here are prompts again. So students are prompted about what to write. Now, and after this, we continue, and it's reading and use of English. So in the reading, there are texts and multiple choice. Choose choice out of 3. Tick, 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 tick. Then section 2, again, a short text, which is which corresponds to the level B2. It's B2 is basically everyday things, expressing yourself, some abstract ideas, but everything concerns you basically. Okay, this is what the students need to take in order to be accepted to university's B2 level, right? Anyway. So, and another about local shops. And after this, they do some use of English. So again, some vocabulary testing and some grammar testing. And at the end, they have a close. Okay, so they choose one of the words provided here inside the gaps over here. And this is the end of the 2.5 hours. Then the speaking. Listen, look at the speaking now. So speaking, again, 3 parts. First is the icebreaker, where you're from, tell me about your neighborhood. The second part is the students, before the exam, the students are prepared to speak on 20 topics, okay, about roughly 20, 25 topics. But before the exam, a week before the exam, the 5 final topics that will appear at the exam are going to be published. So now they have only 1 week, 5 days to prepare thoroughly to these 5 topics. And they choose one of the 5 topics to present as a monologue in this part. So every student working in pairs speaks for 1 minute at level B1 and B2, they speak for 1 minute. And they present the topic. It can be either one of these. Which types of media do you like to use and why? Where do you like to stay when you go on holiday and why, and so on. So one of the students present the topic. The other one is prompted to interact with the first one and to communicate, to ask questions, to comment, agree, disagree, stuff like this. And then it's the turn of the second student to deliver the small speech. And the student number 1 is prompted to interact with him, okay? So basically, we both prepare for these topics, okay? So we check not only the way they speak and if they understand, but also the way they can communicate with each other. What do you do, guys, to communicate? You need to listen carefully, right? And talk after this, interact, ask questions, try to clarify something. Yeah, these are the skills that are necessary as what we call practical skills. Okay, and the part 3 is now the examiner gives a paper with one of these questions. So either question 1, 2, 3 with prompts. For example, traveling with friends is one of the best experiences we can have. And here are the prompts: have more fun, share the same memories, and make our friendship stronger. So these are the prompts. So the student thinks for a second and he speaks again for 1 minute. Now the examiner sees how well the student performs if he's unprepared. Okay, and again after these, the second student tries to interact with the first one. They communicate, ask for opinions, argue, okay, anything. The same happens to the second student, and this is the end. And by the way, the speaking assessment is something that we also provide to teachers. This is an additional qualification. I've been having seminars with teachers like this in Russia and Greece for a couple of years. I've been going to places and delivering seminars. I also had seminars online. So if we organize exams at your university, I am going to hold a free of charge seminar for teachers to become speaking assessors. I'll teach you how to assess, how to what to write in assessment form, and how to prompt, how to behave at exam, what to ask, what to do. Okay, 2-day seminar.
So do you want to say that in a speaking task, there is an interaction only between students? The examiner doesn't take any part. He has no rights to ask.
He does. Oh, of course he does. He asks, like in the part 1, the examiner asks questions of, general questions. Tell me a few things, what you like about your neighborhood. What do you like? What school subjects do you like best? Or what are your hobbies? So after this, after every time after the student speaks, like in part 2 and 3, again, the examiner is advised to prompt. Like sometimes the students don't, like they freeze. They don't know what to say and they have to speak for 1 minute. So if one is not covered, they have to prompt the students to continue speaking. Okay, of course they interact, absolutely. But we also like them to see how they interact with their peers. People like them, candidates.
Only one examiner.
And the examiner. And
the examiner is only one or 2 people?
No, examiner is one and everything is recorded. And the examiner is also has to fill in a form for every student with the marks, with the mistakes. Everything is, it's standardized.
Yeah.
I like it. It's very exciting.
Yeah, Svetlana, and as I have seen from the text, from the test, the language is not academic or not rather academic, right?
No, it's not like this. The B2 is not academic at all. B2 level, it's not like IELTS, academic or technical.
Non-academic.
Yeah, no. It's what CEFR gives. Like if you see the test by Pearson or even Cambridge, there's nothing academic. B2 level implies that the students, the people at B2, they are free to speak in everyday situations, to describe some shades of meaning. They are describe their likes and dislikes, everyday communication, but nothing that has to do with reading professional magazines.
I see. What about C1?
Oh yeah, definitely. You see extracts from Financial Times, from the Time, magazines
Okay.
like this, books
Mhm.
as well, literature, but
Mhm.
not too much because, as I said, it's a practical exam, something that students like, you know, they have to.
Yeah, real life situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
see.
it's
I
everywhere
understand.
like this. B2 is like this. You see it C1 and C2. You can see it if you download the tests from the page I've provided. Okay,
Okay.
you will see how they are.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Those sample tests are free, right?
Yes. Also, practice booklets. I have practice booklets in PDF, and I can send them to you. If you like
Please.
emails, in
We'll be glad.
yeah, you know my email. So can you only prompt me, please, like Svetlana, send us the practice test, okay? And I will send them to you right away, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We have them for 4 levels, from B1, B2, C1, C2. Practice tests are not available for lower levels because they're, you know, just didn't develop, they're still in development.
It will be great.
It'll be great.
But
Thank
we've
you.
got a lot of practice tests for the A1 and A2, for the pre-juniors, like really young learners. You will see pictures with cartoons running. This is also
Okay. Okay.
Thank
you so much, Svetlana.
But if like, okay, let me just check if somebody, only students who can. So I have some questions. Wait a minute. Tatiana, somebody cannot hear me. Tatiana cannot hear me for some reason.
Lisova.
Yeah, Lisa, she cannot hear me, but you can hear me, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, very good.
What is this? What is this? Unmute. Somebody cannot be muted for some. Like I try to unmute, but this is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And for Tatiana, let me see what I can do. Just a second.
2 Tatianas.
I don't know. Unmute Tatiana. It's I like this software with a meeting because I get in touch. Like it's not like a webinar where you only speak and you can write something. Chat. Okay, I'll just write it. I'll send a recording later for everybody. Okay. So Evgenia, I believe, is asking, only students of university can take your exam or school graduate also? No, everybody can. Actually, the exam has been designed for people, very young people, from the age of 6 and 9. So we have plenty of teenagers, plenty of really young, like young children taking the exams. And they are designed for children, like the vocabulary is appropriate, okay, and for teenagers and adults it's a bit more, it's a bit different. So as I said, it has to be practical for everybody. Hey.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. So as I have no more questions, thank you very much for coming here. I know it's really late. The next, can I just say a few things about my next webinar? I'm going to host another one the same time next Wednesday. This is a webinar, like, again, from my experience only, I'm going to give a picture about all the ESOL examinations present in Europe. Like, I'll choose maybe 5 or 6 most popular, and I will go through them, pointing what are the best, the benefits, not the best, what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages, who are they made for, who are they tailored for, which needs they serve, so on. Okay, so like, so that the public and we teachers, we have a better idea what our students need. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank
you. Great idea. Thank you, Svetlana.
Thank you so much. Okay, if you have any suggestions.
See you next Wednesday.
Yeah, let's communicate. Okay. Good evening.
Bye. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, girls.
Bye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.